The problem is that we have people with chronic, long-term, serious mental health problems who are living alone in the community, who perhaps have been in Ocean Views for a long time, although now the policy is one where they are getting them out, discharging them from hospital and getting them to live in the community with a certain amount of support, which in principle sounds like a good idea, but which in practice is rather different.
Brian lives, to be honest, in very inhumane conditions. I mean, you will see the photographs, and I've got nothing to be embarrassed of, because I've been an advocate not only for Brian today, but for many people who live the same as Brian. Brian's house is dirty, and it's not because we don't help them to clean. Mind you, make no mistake, we do. But Brian cannot keep up with the cleaning. Brian cannot keep up with the washing the clothes.
Can you let Lorraine in and the carers so they can come and help?
Today no, I have a toothache. I want to lie in bed.
Have you been letting
Listen, when you have a toothache, you like to be around having a nice time.
No, but they need to be
Okay.
coming in and helping you in
Well,
here,
tomorrow
right?
we'll do, okay?
Brian cannot manage on his own. He hasn't got the tools, he hasn't got the capacity. No matter what anybody else says, they are not in my brother's life 24 hours. I see my brother on a daily basis. I know my brother really well. And it's very difficult for Brian. He cannot manage.
He does have a shower when he wants to, but it's very rarely that he does that. He's inconstant. So he wets the bed. He doesn't know what to do. He puts the clothes in the washing machine, and that's it. He puts the washing machine on, and that's it. He doesn't take them out. Doesn't put them to dry. Then, apart from that, eating is also eats the same thing all the time because he doesn't want to have to wash dishes afterwards. He's got problems. He has problems with his teeth, which he's had recently as well. If I don't take him to the dentist, then there's nobody there to take him. But the main problem is this: the fact that he doesn't allow these carers to help him. If he's in the hospital, then the nursing staff there are trained for these mental patients, so they know how to go about, and they have the authority. But these carers that come in do not have the authority and are not trained for mental patients. So if the patient says to them, I don't want you to come in, that's it.
He was up there in the KG5, he was like now in and out, running out, and the doctor said that they were going to give me an occasion because he was not bad enough to be up there. So they gave him this house. He's been living in his house for a long, long time. But at the beginning it was all right. But then the problem started. People were going into his house, people knocking at his door, they were taking their food, they were taking his money. He didn't want to go to work. They used to make him, for example, take his clothes off in a group of night. And many times the police have come here to my house one night, at 2 o'clock in the morning. He said that I put him in a channel in Dockyard, and they bully him all the time because that was every day of every night, and every day at all hours of the day. I don't think to say he can live in his own. No puede.
There are people who simply cannot live on their own, and getting a visit from somebody, from a carer for half an hour or an hour in the morning, and then maybe getting something similar in the evening, is not enough. The rest of the time they're on their own.
Brian gets a disability allowance monthly is over £500. So he does get, for him to live on his own, he does get a good allowance, but Brian doesn't know how to manage his money. The money that he gets probably goes on the machines. He's got an addiction. Some people take his money They take advantage of my brother. My brother has a good heart. They take advantage, and Brian spends his money. I mean, he can get his money say the first of the month, and by the second, Brian hasn't got a single penny.
I used to go to Spain. I buy for some food. I used to take him to his house that was on the Saturday. I used to go there on the Monday to check, and there was nothing there. And I used to say, Ivan, where's all the things I bought you? All the food and the drinks, where are they? He used to say, I ate them. Yeah, I said, you can never eat that in one day. Or the boys that used to come there, and the boys used to knock at his door. And I used to say to him, if you don't open, threaten him all the time, you know? All the time threaten him. And he was so frightened, he opened the door.
It's totally dependent on me at the moment, which is a situation with most of these patients. They depend on a member of the family to sort all the problems out for them. And unfortunately, those members of the family are not capable of doing that because they've got other members of the family to deal with. And anyway, they're not. Sometimes you get to the stage where you say, what do I do in this situation, you know? There's nobody to say, no, you have to do this or you have to do that for guidance. So the situation is very, very bad because you would like them to become part of the community. But as things stand here in Gibraltar, it's impossible.
There are many people, individuals, who don't have a family, who wants or is able to support them. You know, in some cases you have individuals who are very much on their own. So the family network isn't there. In those cases where you do have some kind of family network, obviously it works better, but you often find that the family network isn't a large family network. It's maybe one or two people who take on the burden of responsibility. And it's a big responsibility. Individuals, other individuals who have somebody in the family who has this problem, they manage, but they manage and with a lot of disruption in their own lives.
Sometimes there are days que ha habido una vez al mes que me encuentro que yo no tengo ganas de salir de la casa. I make an effort porque llevo muchas cosas para adelante y yo soy una persona muy fuerte. And I do my meditation, I do my prayers, and entonces me cuido, practico mindfulness, pero porque I have to look at those things to be able to manage también. Porque viviendo con una persona en la familia con esa enfermedad, it takes its toll, te afecta. El que diga que no es mentira, te afecta. Te afecta en tu relationship con tu pareja, te afecta en tu relationship con tus hijas y muchas cosas que yo le hablo con mis hijas, and thank God I've got a good family network, tengo un good unit y ellos lo entienden, and they know, tú sabes, porque quieren a mi hermano también, pero es muy difícil, es que no puede tener, tu mente no puede estar completamente 100%, a mí no me da vergüenza decirlo, porque es una vida que es muy dura.
Very difficult. Muy mal. Muy mal. Y mi hija lo mismo sufre mucho. Because to see him, you know, the way he was before, what he is now, he cries a lot, eso sí. I feel that he looks very depressed. He's not happy at all. I want a place now, or I mean to say, that I know that he's safe. The day I'm gone, that I know that he's safe.
He's in my mind all the time. I wake up with him in my mind, I go to sleep with him in my mind. And it makes me very depressed, I don't feel like doing anything. Sometimes my husband says, let's go somewhere, and I go, but I'm already conscious of the fact that I've got to make sure that I can reach him if I need to. You know, it's like having a tie. There's something tying me to that person all the time, and I can't cut it off because I'm scared of cutting it off. It makes me feel unhappy, insecure, worried, very sorry for the situation he's finding himself in. I remember once I had to leave, I was down for about 3 months, really bad, and I had to cut. But at that time my parents were with him, so at least I knew there was somebody there. And I had to go away. And get away from it for about 3 months for my own sanity. Because I know people who deal with this kind of problems and they always say the same thing. You've got to be careful because you reach a time where you go under. You don't pull them up, they pull you down and you go under. And then what happens?
These people, we think, deserve to have assisted living. Basically, where they will live in a place where they have their own room. They can be on their own when they want to, but then they have access to communal areas, and they have carers or nursing staff or whatever is necessary to make sure that they are safe, to make sure that they eat adequately, that they have the medication, that they have a good hygiene regime, and so on. So it's very clear to me that this is what is necessary. The fact is that we have some of this in Gibraltar, but there are only 7 beds available. Now, according to the data that I've seen, if you look at the countries that have the best sort of mental health problems, which are few and far between, but somewhere like Denmark, for example, I mean, in a place like Gibraltar, you'd have at least a minimum of 24 beds, for example, which is over 3 times as many as we have now.
The last psychiatrist I spoke to, he said to me, look, this problem would not be a problem in UK. Simple as that. I would say he's not bad enough to be in a hospital. We put him in 24-hour care. Not a residential home like you might end up here, and you can't get a 40-year-old or a 30-year-old, I'm in a residential home for 24-hour care. But somewhere where you, like I said, you looked after, there's somebody there for you, they make sure you have medication, they make sure that you carry out with your proper hygiene, they make sure you can go out, you can come in, but there's somebody you can turn to.
We've been fighting for this shelter accommodation for years, ever since he was bullied. But they never do it. They say they're going to do it, but they never do it.
Brian needs 24-hour care, not in a hospital. I don't want my brother to go to a hospital. What he needs is sheltered accommodation or assisted living, a place that is a safe environment, a place that is comfortable, a place that he can engage with other people, and a place that he can have a life. He deserves to have a good life.